two crazy test matches as Scotland head coach. How do you reflect on what you've just witnessed?
Well, a bit more like the one in 2010 was an assistant coach, and that was certainly coming to my thoughts as the second half went on. I remember the atmosphere that day when Wales had the momentum behind them and came back on the scoreboard, and the same happened today. Fortunately, we stayed ahead, and then we were able to play well in the last 5 minutes. A lot of effort went into that last 5 minutes. Could have scored a try. I think we obviously felt there was a couple of penalties in there that could have gone our way in the last passage, but at the end of the sequence, it was past 80 minutes and we got the win.
What did you make of the first half and early in the second half? You built this 27-point lead. I mean, the guys kind of carried out, I'm guessing, your plan to a T. You must have been delighted at that stage.
Yeah, we were. I think we were really clean and efficient in our half. Thought Ben White and Finn kicked well. Kyle Rowe as well handled the kicks that were coming his way. And then when we had opportunities, we didn't have that many opportunities. We grew in confidence, we were accurate, and we put Wales under pressure. And then to score those two tries, I think it was were excellent, really good reward. Sometimes you don't get that in first halves, but to have that cushion should have made it a more comfortable second half. The fact that it didn't is a concern for us, but a lot of that was to do with the penalty count and the numerical advantage Wales had for 20 minutes, and that created problems and created pressure, and Wales certainly played their best rugby during that period too. So I don't think it was anything to do with it, the change of game plan, or like we went out in the second half with the same mindset. We just couldn't get on ball, and we had to defend a lot of man down.
Seemed to get on the wrong side of the referee as well.
Yeah, it's crazy stats. It was 9 penalties against 0. Wales didn't concede a penalty in the second half. 16 penalties to 4 in the game. We were 27-0 up, and just doesn't seem to make sense. But we've got to look at where we can improve and how we were getting penalised for things around the tackle, ruck here and offsides that Wales weren't getting penalised for. So we have to be better to concede 16 penalties, no matter if we think they're the tough, harsh decisions or not. That's going to put you under pressure, and it did.
What was going on when this lead that you built is kind of crumbling round about you? What messages are you trying to get down to the players at that point?
Really technical messages, because a lot of that period we had to adapt. Hooker yellow carded, and then we had injuries. Remind me who got the second yellow card, Sione. So we had to adjust in defence, and then with Luke Crosby getting injured, we had to put Sione to the flank. So it was more about the technical things we have to do better. And we maybe didn't do them as well as we could. But credit to Wales, I think once they got into the 22 in the second half, they were more clinical. In the first half, we'd held them out, and the 2 or 3 occasions they were in there.
You will take, at this moment, the pride and the achievement of winning here. It's been so difficult for Scottish teams for so long, but is the madness of the second half still?
Not so much with me. I know the assistant coaches are not thinking like that. The forwards and defence coach, they obviously will be, and they are thinking about, okay, well, that can't happen next week, and we know it can't. But we got to take a lot of pride in the win and the performance for our first outing for 4 months, how we started that game and started the second half. But we know next week's a totally different challenge, a team that's been one of the best in the world for a number of years on the back of a defeat, so they will be a big threat to us, and we'll have to be better. But no, I know how hard it is to win here, both as a player and a coach. So I feel a lot of pride that we've managed to finally get the win in this stadium.
How are Luke and Richie?
They're both in a lot of pain. So Richie, I think straight away he knew, and the medics knew it was a bicep injury. So that doesn't look good for this championship. And Luke was a shoulder injury, which is a painful one now, but that might settle. Probably not for next week, but let's hope he's not done any significant damage there. And yeah, it's a blow to lose 2 players that are in our starting team. Obviously someone like Richie's a very experienced player for us, and Luke has been outstanding this season and took the game to Wales. when he was on the field. So yeah, we'll just have to adapt. We've got Grant Gilchrist coming back from suspension. We've got a lot of competition in the back row, so I'm sure guys will be able to step up when they get the opportunity next week.
Make some of the contributions you made the West. Guys are less experienced than this. Kyle will take months off the bench.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the bench. I thought the bench was excellent and added speed and stuck with what we were aiming to do in that second half when we didn't have the ball. We were aiming to do in the second half, but we hadn't had the ball for a while. And three of them have not played much rugby for us. Two of them have only been in our system for 10 days. That was really good. Like Alec Hepburn, carries, Elliot Miller-Mills, scrum, and then almost getting a jackal at the end. Kyle Rowe just was calm, assured presence, and having to feel a lot of high balls as well. I thought he did very well because he's not played in that position a huge amount, but he is a skillful all-round player and just seemed really calm in the test environment.
Gregor, still one for Jamie Ritchie as well. It's a difficult few weeks for him in terms of losing the captaincy, and then his place not being kind of guaranteed. How pleased were you with his performance?
Yeah, it was. I have to look more in detail, but Jamie was a big driver of our game this week. I know Finn really appreciated him as a vice captain to drive a lot of the emotional side of it, his experience, and see when he's there too. And he was obviously a big part of the first half performance when we really set our game out, played with intent, but were accurate too.
Were you surprised Wales gave you the freedom to kind of do that in the first half?
Yes and no. I think you look at yourself, and if you get things right and you manage to get into the opposition 22, then opportunities will arrive, especially with the players we have. If we can get the ball into Finn's hands more often, the players outside him, then when you do have one-on-ones or you have space to attack, then we will get behind the defence. The second half we just didn't have enough ball, hardly any ball until the end of the game.
Thank you.
Thanks.